Hi, this is Crissy from Crissy Crochet. Today, for our project, we are going to be making baskets. I have two made, and this pattern has the V or the waistcoat stitch, and you can see how nice the bottom looks and how even and around the sides. And this one is a little bigger, the red one. And again, if you'll look at the bottom, we have a nice base and the edges look nice. For our supplies, I'm going to be using Hooked Ribbon XL. It is 80% cotton with some other recycle fibers, and the needle size is a 10 to 12 millimeter, but it's a very nice yarn, and it's easy to use, and it works great for the baskets. So I have a crochet needle that's an NP, which is a 10 millimeter. I have my needle with the big eye and also a pair of scissors. Let's get started with our magic ring. All right, put your yarn across your hand like this. Make an X over those three fingers. Turn your yarn over. Go under this first strand of yarn. Pick up the back as you come through, twist, and then come over and pick up the back side, and then just pull it right on through. And that makes your magic circle. Some people call it a magic ring. It really doesn't matter. Okay, then go ahead, adjust it a little bit. So in our first row, we are going to put 6 single crochets in this circle. To do a single crochet, go into the circle, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops. Again, you go in to the ring, yarn over, pick up a loop, yarn over, pull through both. That makes 2 single crochets. Okay, go in, yarn over, pick up a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops. We need to do 3 more. All right, now let's count. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and right there is our 6th one. All right, close by pulling the tail of your yarn. All right, and then we have 6 single crochets in this circle. Now, normally when we start another row, when we are crocheting in a circular pattern, we usually go through and slip stitch into the top of the first single crochet, the 2 loops. Okay, with the method we're going to use tonight, we are going to pull our loop up probably about twice as large as what you would normally have a loop. Then we're going to take our crochet hook and go from the back side through the top 2 loops in the first single crochet. Then we're going to take our loop, we're going to put it over our hook, and we're going to just pull that through to the back. Okay, like that. Okay, and then just kind of straighten up, and you can tighten your circle up some more if you need to. Now, the next thing we're going to do is a V-stitch, or it's also known as a waistcoat stitch. To do that, we're going to go into the middle of our stitch here, okay? And if you'll just pull it open, we're going to be putting one right in the middle there. So if you'll just take your hook, and then you can turn your work, and it will slide right through, and it splits the stitch on the back also. Then we're going to take our working yarn, we're going to lay it over where we've been working and hold it there, and then put this loop over the hook and pull through and pull up. Okay, to finish that stitch, just pull through, which would be like a chain stitch. All right, so that's going to be our first waistcoat or V-stitch. Now what we're going to do, we're going to put 2 of these in each stitch all the way around. So to put our second one, just go straight back in to the same place, pull up a stitch, yarn over, and pull through. So what we're doing is we are putting a single crochet in a different place to make this, and it makes a V look. So the next one we have, we're gonna, it's between this stitch and this stitch where that one ends and this one starts. If you just pull that open, you can see you can put your hook through there. So just go ahead and do that on the next one. And as I said, on the back, it's going to split the stitches the same way. All right, pull up a loop and go through, and there it is. So, okay, and then we're going to put another one, and then we'll look at it. Go back in, yarn over, pull up your stitch, yarn over, and pull through. And you can see, as we get started, that these look like V's. And it makes a really pretty stitch for a basket. So let's continue. We're going to come to the next one. And we're going to put 2 right down in there. So go through, and it splits the stitch behind 2. Yarn over, pull up your loop, yarn over and pull through. Put another one right back in there. Okay. You just kind of keep those fairly loose. You don't want to get this too tight. All right, there's 2 in that one. Now, let's go to the next one. Look on the back, and there you see the stitches splitting. Yarn over, pull through, pull up your loop, and then, of course, yarn over, pull through. One more in that one. Okay. Now we just go ahead. This is the next one. Right there. Okay, there's another one right here. So we're going to do that one. Now that we're back around, we have put 2 V-stitches in each single crochet stitch. We're going to join like we did in the middle. We're going to leave this tail, this loop, longer. We're going to go from the back side and we're going to go through these 2 stitches here from the back side, okay? And if you'll look right in the middle, that's how that looks. So when we do this, we're going to put that loop over and pull it through, okay, just like that. Okay, now we should have 12 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, and now we're going to start back this next row. We are going to put 1 V-stitch for the first, in the first place, and in the second one we're going to put 2. So this is row 3, so you'll be doing 1 V-stitch here, then you'll do 2, then you'll do 1, then 2, all the way around. So we're going to go through right here, and if you'll look, this can be confusing, but if you'll look at your loop here and look just a little bit to the left where that stitch right there where the loop's coming through and the next one's where it's at, all you have to do is pull that apart and then put your crochet hook through there, separating the back. All right, then you're going to take your yarn and you're going to come up and put it between the crochet hook and your loop, and you can just kind of hold it. You just get sort of a method of your own. It's a little bit awkward to start with. Pull that through, and then if you'll remember a minute ago we chained 1 in that one, so that finished that one. Okay, so that one then is your first one. So in our next V-stitch, we're going to put 2. So we're going to just go over to the next one. It's right there. Pull that apart a little bit so you can see. Go right through there, split your yarn. Okay. Pick up your yarn, pull it through, and then finish it. You're just basically doing a single crochet, as I said, in a different place. All right, so we put 1 there, so we're going to put another one. All right, so let's put our second one right down in the same place. So the first one we put 1, now we put 2. This next one we'll go back to 1. Just separate it, go through. 1 there. This next one we will put 2. 1, 2. Okay, and we'll just continue. 1, then 2. 1. As you come to the end of the third row, you should have 2 in the last stitch. So let me put those in. 1 and 2. Okay, and this is what it will look like. It's very neat looking. You have a nice little star pattern in the middle. Now we're going to pull that loop up. We're going to come over here and we're going to go through the 2 loops on top from the back to the front. You're going to pull your loop over and hook it into your crochet hook and pull it through. All right. Now at this point we should have 18 stitches. Okay, so let's start with this one right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and that's 18 because we started counting right there. So we are correct. All right, then we're going to start row 4. Now this time we're going to do 1 V-stitch in the first V-stitch. We're going to do 1 in the next one and then 2. And of course this is the way that we increase to keep our base flat. So we'll leave that loop larger than usual. And then when you look at this, again, it's coming up right here. And if you look to the left, it's where this stitch ends and this one starts, that we'll open that up. Okay, so put your needle through and split those stitches, and then see how they split in the back. Okay, push that through. Take your yarn and lay it between the needle and the loop. And you can just maybe hold it with your thumb. Put this loop over your hook, then come back around and pull through. Okay, to finish that, go ahead and chain through it. So there's the first one. Now to do the second one, all right, if you'll see here, we've done that one. We'll come over to this one, and it gets a little easier for your needle to go through, and you don't have to push quite as hard through them. All right, so this, we go through, again, see the back, pull, pick up your loop back there, yarn over, and then pull it through, pull up your loop, pull through. All right, so now we have 2 done. Now we said that we would do 1 V-stitch in the first one, 1 in the second one. The next one we're going to put 2 in. So we're going to go right in there, and our pattern, we're going to put 2 here. All right, so we have 1, 1, 2. We're going to do that again. 1, 1, and then this next stitch we'll put 2. Now if you have increased before, this will make sense to you, and if you haven't, this is a good thing to learn. So next, again, we'll just go back. We finished that part, 1, 1, 2, and so we're going to do 1, 1, 2 again. 1 in that one, 1 in this one, and 2 in the next one. I'll meet you when we get back around to finish row 4. I'm almost back around, and so my pattern here was, I had 2 here, 1, 1. I have 1 more place here, so I'll put 2 here. So my count should be correct. All right, so you can look at how that looks. Okay, we pull our loop up, Again, we come over here and we pick up. Now, don't pick up this one that kind of turns. Be sure not to get this one here, okay? Make sure it's this one right up here, because you're basically recreating the one in the middle that finishes it with, this is like the invisible join. So go from the back side through those 2 loops like we've been doing. Pull your loop through with your needle, okay? And see, right there then is that last V. So it just makes it look nicer than doing the slip stitch, in my opinion. All right, so we're going to start the next row. And this pattern for row 5 is 1 V-stitch, 1 V-stitch, 1 V-stitch, and then 2 V-stitches. So 1, 1, 1, 2. So let's start with and get this one done. And again, it's just a little bit to the left of where that loop looks like it's at. So go through there, and we'll get that first one fixed. So we will make sure that you put your yarn across and pick up your loop and bring it through. Whoops, missed that one. Okay, let's do that one again. Come across. Put your loop over your hook, pull it through like that, pull it up, and then finish it by putting a chain in it. All right, now we have 1, and we're going to go to the next one, 1 in this one. Okay, so we said our pattern was going to be 1, 1, 1, then 2. So 1, 1, 1, and then the next one will have 2. Like that. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Then again, 1, 1, 1, then 2. Continue this pattern on around, and I will meet you when we get ready to finish row 5. We are at the end of row 5. My pattern, I had 2 here, 1, 1, 1. I have 1 more to do that I put 2 in. Okay, so I'm going to put 2 right there. 1, 2. All right, now pull that loop up and come over here behind these 2 loops, not the curved one, as I said, because it's easy to think that it might be that one. All right, pull your loop through and pull up, and that created that last stitch. Okay, like that. Now, on the next row, this is row 6, we're going to do 1, 1, 1, 1, then 2. 1, 1, 1, 1. 4 times we're doing just 1 in each stitch, and then the next one we do 2. All right, so let's do this first one. All right, we'll go into this stitch here, and this is where we pull the loop back through. Put your yarn between, as I said, between the loop and the crochet hook, and then pull that through. Okay, and then pull your chain stitch through it to finish it. All right, so there's 1. Now let's do 1, 1, 1. So that's 4 times, should be. Okay, and then 2. And you just keep going on around using that pattern. 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. Meet you back where it joins. Okay, I'm at the end of row 6. So my pattern was 2 here, then 1, 2, 3, 4. I have one more stitch that I need to put the V-stitches in, and so I need 2 right here at the end. 1, 2. Okay. Now again, pull that loop up and come over here and get this one right there. Pull this one through and pull up. Straighten it up a little bit. Okay. Now for row 7, we have we need to do 5 times, just 1 in each stitch, and then 2, which will be our pattern. So it'll be 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 5. Do 5 of those, and then the next stitch 2. All right, let's go ahead and do 1. So let's get this finished to start the new row. Go right into that stitch there again. Okay. Get your loop pulled through like that. Okay. Okay, then just do your other stitch in there. And it's basically just a chain, so that's our first one. All right, now go into this one. There's 1, 2. Then there's the third single one, the fourth one, and now the fifth one. Okay. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 2 here. Okay, now let's go ahead and do that pattern. Do 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, do the 5, and then put 2. I'll meet you back. Okay, I'm back around, and I have one more stitch to do, and we had 5 that we did 1 in each stitch, and this last one I will do 2. Okay. Now, this base is 6.5 inches wide, and you can go ahead and make it bigger, but I think for this video we'll go ahead and start the sides of our basket. If you were doing row 8, you would do 6 single ones and then put 2 together. Then if you were doing a 9th row, you would add 1 single one, and then so you would have for 9 you would have 7 single ones and then 2 together. So you just continue that pattern as far as you want to make this base as wide as you want to. The rest of the instructions are going to be the same. It'll just be a different size. Okay, so let's go ahead. Before we start this part, before we go up the sides, it's a good idea to go ahead and work in the tail that's on the back side. So let's get our needle, and just whatever type needle that you use for weaving in. And on the back side, just go in and out. And depending on the yarn you're using, this you can't really split a lot, so you have to be a little bit careful to go through the individual strands. But just weave it in to where it will not come loose. And go one way and then go back the other way a little bit. It's in there pretty good, so I think it's pretty sturdy. And if you catch, sometimes you have to go back the other way a little bit. So I'm just going to take that back out. If that happens, no problem. Just start over. Okay, so when you get it to where you feel like it's good and tight, just snip off the end. Okay, now that's the back side. We turn it back over and we have a nice circle. Okay, now we have finished that final row, and we are going to go ahead, have our loop bigger like usual. We're going to come over to this side, go through those 2 stitches like we usually do, pull our loop through to the back, okay, bring that up. Okay, now let's look at our stitches here. All right, here's this one that's the loop, and it goes under the top of that stitch right there. Now that one, we're going to go into the back loop. Okay, so put your needle into the back loop. You can turn it over now. And there's a little like bump right under there, okay? Right there. And so we're going to also go down through that little bump. Okay, now bring your yarn over and hold it and put your stitch, pull all the way through and pull up. Okay, and then finish it by doing the chain through it. Okay, just pull through it. So right there is the first stitch. Now, we are going to go into each of our stitches using the back loop and the little bump all the way around, doing a single crochet. So that was our first single crochet. Let's go through there, and then that little hump like that. All right, yarn over, bring up your loop, do your single crochet. Okay, let's do another one. Now remember, just the back loop only. Back loop, the little hump, little bumpy place there, and pull through, and then pull through again. Okay, you're just doing a single crochet through the back loop, the little bumpy place, pull your yarn through both, pull it up, and go through. All right. So now, that's what this is going to look like. You're going to start your sides. Now, if you noticed, we did not cut our yarn, and this is going to make a very nice join when we come back to the other side. So what we'll just continue doing is, just as I said, using the back loop, the little bump, do a single crochet, and keep going all the way around. After you get back around to finish that row, which is our 8th row, your work will look like this. All right, before we join, I'm going to just pull that out a little bit. We're going to pull up the sides, that one row, so that we'll get a neat join, and it'll start our walls. So just go around it. And make sure starting to go vertical. I took out one stitch right here to show you when you get back to that very last one, it may look like there's just one stitch there, but you split it and you'll go in between it. So for that very last single crochet, make sure there's half of it over in the front side and you're getting the back loop of it. Then go through and get the little bump from behind. Go through and do your single crochet. And that's what it looks like. Okay, now that you have that last single crochet in correctly, we're going to pull this loop up a little bit and we're going to join to where it has that invisible look. So pull this loop across and pull through, bring that up. Okay, now we are going to start just like we did on any of the base rows. We're going to come over here. We're going to go through and do a V stitch. So split your stitch. Okay, right there. Okay, and on this one you pull your yarn across, put your loop over, and pull through. And let me do that again. Okay, pull your loop through like that. And then to finish it, pull your yarn through. So that's going to be your first one. Now, if you'll look at the bottom, you've got a very nice edge around it that makes a good flat base. So now all we're going to do is put one V-stitch in each single crochet, just like we did before, except this time we will not be increasing. So all you have to do is just go to where those two stitches are together, go under it, and split the stitch, and pull your single crochet through to make your V stitch. Now, you continue this as many rows as you would like for the height of your basket. Okay. And on this first row, I'll meet you back where it joins, and I'll help you get it joined, and then you can continue and make it as tall as you would like. When you get back around and do your last stitch, your basket side should look like this. You should have 2 rows, and you should have a V here and a V here. Here's a V and here's a V. So that's how it should look. So now do your long loop. Come over. Again, do not use this one. Use this one right here from behind. Go through both loops and catch your loop. Pull it through. And then you're ready to start again, just like that. So all you have to do is go through, just like we've been doing, to make your V-stitch. Okay, and here's your loop, there's your yarn. I'll hold it right there, and we'll catch this one from behind. Okay, let's go back through that one. Okay. Pull that one through. Okay. Then go ahead and finish it by pulling a stitch through. Then you just continue. And you see, everything looks neat right there. All right. I'm going to probably do about 5 rows, and then I'll meet you back. You make yours as short or as tall as you would like. There's nothing different in your instructions until we get to the end and put a finishing row at the top. Meet you back in a little bit. Now that we have finished our last V-stitch row, we need to do an invisible join to connect our work. So what we're going to do, so that we don't have to cut the yarn, is we're going to measure around our basket. And so I'm going to take a tape measure and just go around it. And I have a basket that's about 24 inches around. Then I'm just going to measure off my yarn about 5.5 times the amount that goes around it. So there's one time, and there's my second round. There's my third round. And here's my fourth one. It doesn't have to be just totally exact to the inch. There's my fifth. And then I'm going to go another foot to make sure. Okay. Then I'm just going to go ahead and cut my yarn. To do the invisible join, we're just going to pull our yarn through the loop. That's the last one that we made. Okay, like that. Then we're going to take the end of our yarn and use a tapestry needle. And we're going to make a stitch here to close it up. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go from the back to the front under those two loops. And then just pull all that yarn through. Okay. Then, to make it look like our other stitches, we're going to go back into this one right here. We'll go down into that one. And then on the back side, we'll go through that little nubby right there, like that. And pull it through. Now, see, you have what looks like your other stitches, like that. So you're not going to be able to tell where that joins. Okay, now we're going to use our crochet hook and start our final row. To do our final row, we are just going to slip stitch around our work. Now, we don't want to use the same stitch as the one that we made. So we'll come back to this one right before that one. Go through the top two loops, pull your yarn over and pull that through. Like that. Then you'll go into the next one, pull through, and slip stitch, which you just pull the yarn through. All right, you go to the next one. Just going through the top two loops, pull your yarn through, pull right on through. The next one, you're just slip stitching. You are just doing a slip stitch, which again, go through the top 2 loops, bring your yarn over and pull through. Okay, go in, yarn over, and then pull through. Just keep pulling through. Now that's going to leave a nice edge to finish your basket. So keep working on around, and I will meet you back when you get to where we join. After you finish your row of slip stitches around the edge of your basket and you get back and you have one more stitch to do, what we're going to do is we're going to do an invisible join at this point too, and we're going to use this stitch here to go through. So pull your yarn through, and then let's look at it. See how these have been made here, and so we want to make the last stitch by using the invisible join. So you'll have one that's kind of open here, and that's going to be the stitch that we're making. So it would have went into here if we would have just continued to crochet. So let's put our yarn through our hook and our needle, and let's pull this through right here. Okay, and then we're going to pull back. Then if we look at it, this should loop right back into here, see, to finish it. So what we're going to do is just go back into there and to the back. And pull that through, and that makes your other stitch. And you see right there, you can't tell that you quit crocheting and made an invisible one. So then on the back, we're just going to work in the tail. So I want to go right in. That little bump there would be a good place to start putting that through. But let me through. Okay. Okay, and that works good. And then just weave in your ends. And a little trick that I do sometimes is I go backwards so that it doesn't get in the middle of those stitches. Since you can't go completely through them, I will take the end and I will back up to where I need my needle to go through. And that makes it a little bit easier. Okay, and I'm going to do that again. I use that a whole lot with yarns that you can't actually go through the center of the strand right here. Then I'm going to go back the other way a little bit, so I'm going to go over here and come backwards. And of course you don't want your needle to go through to the front side. Okay. And I believe I'll go one more time here, just to make sure it doesn't come loose. All right. All right, when you get finished then, just clip off your yarn. And we had just a little tail left, but I would rather have a little extra than not enough, and then have to fasten in the yarn. And this way, we started at the very beginning, and we did not cut the yarn anywhere. So let's take a look at our basket. Okay, here's the sides and the bottom. And again, we have a nice little edge around it. It sits flat. The top is very neat and pretty. And now you can use it for whatever you would like. If you like this video, please click the like button and please subscribe to my channel. I hope you have a good day, and we'll see you next time.